Elizabeth Harrington. This name signifies power and wealth. Yet those who know her well understand that a shadow of loneliness always looms behind her. As a widow in her 60s, Elizabeth built a business empire spanning continents. But despite her billions, she could not reclaim what she longed for most, her daughter, Lily. 20 years ago, Lily vanished suddenly in a sunlit park in California, leaving Elizabeth with countless unanswered questions and sleepless nights. Despite endless searches, hiring private investigators and shedding countless tears, Lily remained missing. As time passed, Elizabeth learned to live with the pain, or rather to hide it behind the polished, glamorous facade she presented to the world. But she never stopped searching. Every child she saw, every laugh she heard, reminded her of her lost daughter's clear, bright laughter. Years after leaving California, fleeing the place that stole her joy, Elizabeth finally returned. For reasons she couldn't explain, coming back felt right, as if her heart were tied to this land and its unfinished stories. That afternoon, Elizabeth decided to forgo her usual lavish meals, craving something simple, something grounded in the warmth of everyday life. She drove aimlessly through the streets of Qingdao town until her gaze fell upon a charming little diner. Its red sign stood out boldly, reading Sunshine Diner. The diner buzzed with life, families dining, friends gathering, their conversations weaving a tapestry of liveliness. Elizabeth stepped inside, the bell above the door chiming crisply to announce her arrival. She chose a booth in the corner, where she could observe the entire restaurant while maintaining some privacy. Soon, a waitress approached, a young woman in her 20s, her uniform slightly wrinkled but clean. Her smile was genuine, though tinged with a hint of weariness. "Good afternoon, ma'am," she said, holding a notepad and pen, her smile warm. "What would you like to order?" Elizabeth looked up, and for a moment she was struck by an indescribable feeling. There was something familiar in the waitress's gentle brown eyes, tugging at a corner of her memory. "A cup of coffee, please," Elizabeth said, striving to keep her voice steady. The waitress nodded. "Coming right up." Elizabeth leaned back, watching the waitress move gracefully between tables, chatting warmly with customers and balancing trays with ease. Her demeanor was kind, yet carried a trace of something Elizabeth knew all too well: resilience. When the waitress returned with the coffee, Elizabeth noticed a delicate gold locket around her neck, glinting under the diner's fluorescent lights. The locket was exquisite, adorned with intricate floral patterns. Elizabeth's breath caught. "That's a beautiful locket," she said, her voice softening instinctively. The waitress touched the locket absently. "Thank you. It's very special to me." Elizabeth leaned forward, her heart racing. "If you don't mind me asking, where did you get it?" The waitress gave a small smile. "It was a birthday gift from my mother when I was little. I don't remember much about her. I grew up in foster care, but this is the only thing I have left of her." Elizabeth felt the world tilt. Foster care? Her thoughts raced. Could it be? As the waitress turned to attend to other customers, Elizabeth reached into her bag with trembling hands and pulled out a photo she had carried for years. The photo was worn and slightly faded, but the image remained clear. Elizabeth and Lily on Lily's 5th birthday. In the picture, Lily held a locket identical to the one the waitress wore. When the waitress returned with Elizabeth's order, Elizabeth could no longer hold back. "I know this might sound strange, but could you sit for a moment?" The waitress hesitated but nodded, sliding into the booth across from Elizabeth. "Is everything okay, ma'am?" Elizabeth slid the photo across the table. "Do you recognize this?" The waitress picked up the photo, her brow furrowing. Her fingers brushed lightly over the locket in the image, identical to the one around her neck. Her eyes widened, darting between the photo and Elizabeth. This little girl looks exactly like me when I was young," she whispered. Tears welled in Elizabeth's eyes. "Because it's you," she said, her voice trembling. "You're my daughter, my Lily." The waitress's hand flew to her mouth, her breathing quickening. "No, that's impossible. My name is Anna. I don't have a family. Elizabeth reached out, her voice filled with a mix of hope and heartbreak. Anna was Lily's nickname. I called you that when you were little. Anna sat stunned, her mind reeling. How is this possible? My foster mother said my biological parents abandoned me. Elizabeth shook her head fiercely. I never abandoned you. You were taken from me. I've spent my life looking for you. Anna's eyes brimmed with tears as she clutched the locket. I don't know what to say. Elizabeth stood from the booth, opening her arms. You don't have to say anything. Just let me hold you, my Lily. Anna hesitated, then broke, collapsing into Elizabeth's embrace. Mom, she whispered, her voice shaking. Yes, my darling, Elizabeth sobbed, tears streaming down her face. It's me. I'll never let you go again. What happens when two hearts torn apart by time try to reconnect amidst years of pain and unanswered questions? Anna couldn't stop staring at Elizabeth, the mother she had just discovered. The photo trembled in her hands as she grappled with the unbelievable truth. She wanted to believe, her heart screamed to believe, but doubts lingered. Could this billionaire truly be her mother? Elizabeth wiped her tears with a trembling hand. Lily, Anna, I know this is sudden, but I swear, it's true. For the past 20 years, every single day I've prayed for this moment. I imagined your face, your voice, your smile, but nothing compares to seeing you standing here alive. It's so hard to believe, Anna said, her voice choking. My whole life, I wondered why I didn't have a family. I told myself I wasn't wanted. And now you're telling me you've been searching for me. Elizabeth reached across the table, gently taking Anna's hand. I never stopped searching. You were taken from me in a way I still don't understand. I hired the best investigators, offered rewards, but you were gone, like you'd vanished from the earth. And now, to find you here. Her voice broke, tears falling again. Anna's thoughts drifted to her childhood. Faint memories of a warm home, a garden where she played, the scent of roses in the air. But those memories were buried under years in foster homes, each colder than the last. I always thought I was abandoned, she said softly. The foster system wasn't kind to me. I learned early not to expect too much from anyone. I started waitressing at 16 and have been working ever since just to survive. Elizabeth's heart shattered as she listened. I can't imagine the pain you've been through. If I had known, if I could have found you sooner. Her voice was heavy with regret. None of this would have happened. You deserve the life you were meant to have. Anna looked at Elizabeth, her gaze searching. Why now? After all these years, why did fate bring us together today? Elizabeth gently touched the locket around Anna's neck. Because of this, she said tenderly. It's the only thing that kept us connected through all those years apart. It's why I came here today. The diner fell silent as Anna processed Elizabeth's words. Finally, she asked the question that had been haunting her. What about my dad? Where is he? Elizabeth's face darkened with sorrow. Your father passed away a few years after we lost you. He couldn't bear the grief. He blamed himself for not protecting you that day. Anna gasped softly. I wish I could have met him, she whispered. Elizabeth nodded, tears flowing freely. He would have loved you so much. Lily, you were his entire world, just as you are mine. Anna reached out, her hand trembling, and placed it on Elizabeth's. I don't know what to feel, but I want to try. I want to know what it's like to have a mom. Elizabeth gave a tearful, gentle smile. And I want to feel what it's like to be your mother again. Let me make up for the years we lost, Lily. Let me give you everything I couldn't before. Elizabeth insisted Anna leave the diner with her. You're not staying here another day, she said firmly. I have a home, a real home, for you. Anna hesitated. I don't need charity, and I don't want your money. I just want to belong somewhere. Elizabeth smiled softly. You belong with me. This isn't about money, Lily. It's about family. Please let me give you the life you deserve. Anna reluctantly agreed, and they drove to Elizabeth's grand estate. The mansion was breathtaking, with lush gardens and sparkling fountains. Despite its grandeur, the house held a warmth Anna hadn't expected. "I used to imagine you playing here," Elizabeth said softly. "Every flower, every corner of this place reminds me of you. I'd sit by the fountain, dreaming of the day you'd come back." Anna's eyes filled with tears. "It's beautiful," she said, "but it doesn't feel like home yet." Elizabeth placed a hand on her shoulder. "It will one day. It will." Over the next few weeks, Elizabeth and Anna began rebuilding their relationship. They shared stories, laughter, and tears, piecing together the fragments of their lives. One afternoon, Elizabeth showed Anna an old photo album filled with memories of her childhood. "This was your favorite dress," she said, pointing to a picture of Lily in a bright yellow dress. "You'd wear it every chance you got." Anna smiled faintly. "I think I remember," she said. "I remember you brushing my hair, singing to me." Elizabeth's heart warmed. "If you'd like, I'd do it again," she said with a soft laugh. But not everything was smooth. Anna struggled to adjust to a life of wealth and luxury. "I'm not used to being taken care of," she admitted one evening. "I've looked after myself for so long. It feels strange to let someone else do it." Elizabeth took her hand. "You don't have to face everything alone anymore," she said. "You're not alone, Lily. You'll never be alone again." One day, as they sat by the garden fountain, Anna turned to Elizabeth. "Mom," she said hesitantly, "why didn't you give up on finding me? Most people would have." Elizabeth smiled through her tears. "Because a mother's love doesn't give up. It doesn't fade or forget. I knew in my soul you were out there somewhere. Now that I've found you, I'll never let you go again." Anna leaned into her mother's embrace, her heart feeling full for the first time in years. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for never giving up on me." Elizabeth kissed her forehead. "You're my miracle, Lily, my second chance at happiness. I'll spend the rest of my life showing you how much you're loved." They sat together as the sun set behind them. Mother and daughter both knew their broken hearts were finally beginning to heal. The lost years could never be reclaimed, but the future was theirs, filled with love, hope, and a bond nothing could break. Can love truly heal the wounds torn by time? For Elizabeth and Anna, the answer lay in the journey of finding each other again.